Hi there and welcome, Kim. I'm so excited that you decided to join us and join me for an interview today. We're so happy that you're willing to share your story with us. And we know that in the Way Down lifestyle, you have done extremely well getting to your target weight loss goal, all without being on a scale. And I just love that part of the journey. So welcome here, Kim. And I know you're from Kitchener, Ontario, a long ways from where I am, but we have women from all over North America. So I know they're going to be interested in hearing your story. So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about maybe your growing up life in terms of health and weight loss.
Okay. I didn't have a very good childhood. I was the oldest of 6 kids, and I have a sister that's exactly 10 months younger than me. And my mother would blame me for everything. So I was always trying to prove my worth, try to be good, try to keep their marriage together, try to just do whatever was asked of me. So I grew up like that. And of course, I was, how would you say, like the scapegoat for anything that went wrong, I was punished for. And then we didn't have much treats or anything like that. There was only one parent working. And so when it was a treat day, it was like pizza, or my dad would give us a nickel to go to the store and buy black balls and like all these good little treats that were really inexpensive they were expensive back then, but they were inexpensive in today's worth. And so when I was on my own, then, like when I grew up, it was hard moving from house to house because I didn't feel comfortable with myself. I didn't feel comfortable with where I was going to. I always felt drawn back to the way I lived because that's the only way I knew how. And so whenever I got paid, it was like walking down to Woolworths. Some of you may know what Woolworths is, way back in the days, because it's not here anymore. And I would spend my quarter on a quarter of a pound of Smarties for a quarter, and we'd walk there. So it was my exercise to get there, and that was downtown Guelph, and because that's where I was born. It was in Guelph, and we lived in the country, and so we walked downtown, we walk home, and I don't know, it must have been an hour and a half walk sort of thing. And I'd bring my little bowl of Smarties home. I was so proud that I walked and able to get that. So that was our treat. And so since I was deprived of all that, that became the focus of when I started working and I had a paycheck and stuff like that. I would treat myself, and I thought there's nothing wrong with that. And I am on the petite side, 5'2", but I started getting, as I was older, and gained 42 pounds when I had my child. So I weighed more than my husband at that time. So, and then from there, it took me like 20 some odd years to get back to where I was when I was a teenager and lost all the weight. But then I gained it all back. So it's a yo-yo effect in that. So, and then I started getting heavy because sweets became my life. I ate more sweets than I did normal regular food because it was too expensive to buy. It's cheaper to buy candy than it is to buy fruit, and vegetables. So I became, I called myself a chocoholic, and I still am. And I just gained a weight that I didn't feel comfortable with myself. And then I seen your web or something on Facebook, and it says it was really inexpensive to join you. And that's when I started. And then I started doing the recipes, and I really enjoyed most of the recipes, and my husband eats it. I tried some on the kids, and they have enjoyed it as well. And so then, because I do not enjoy the scale and don't use the scale, I actually threw it out, because whenever I got on the scale, if I even gained a pound, I would go and buy myself a chocolate bar, and I'd eat the whole thing, or a bag of chips, and I'd eat the whole thing. So that was that was like, what's the word I'm looking for? A trigger whenever I gained weight is to go to the sweets. So I threw the scale out, and the doctor was always hounding me. You got to lose the weight. You got to lose that belly. You got this, you got that. And I was borderline on being high blood pressure. And he wanted to put me on pills, but I have an allergic reaction to most drugs. So I didn't want to go on the pills. So I tried to do it by controlling what I ate. And I do like vegetables. I have to admit that I'm not a very good sweet fruit eater. I have to be in the mood to eat fruit, but I do like bananas. So I put my bananas with whatever fruit, the blueberries or the raspberries or the strawberries. I have trouble digesting a lot of raw vegetables, so I do cook a lot of them. So like the soups and the stews and or just the cabbage and the zucchini. I just try to do a lot more with vegetables for my for my food. I'm not a very big meat eater, so I don't eat a lot of meat, and I do have an allergy to pork, so I don't eat pork. So I prefer to have a little bit more beans now that you have these recipes for beans. So I use the beans in the rice mixtures and in the quinoa and stuff like that. So I try to stay away from meats. I'll cook the meats for my husband, or if I do, I have very little of it. So that's where I am now. And since I don't use this scale, but I did get weight twice because I had a doctor's appointment, and that's how I knew that I lost weight from when I got weighed before I started this program. So I knew I was in the 150s at that time, and when I went back to the doctors, I was in the 130s. So I knew I'd lost weight, but I know by just measuring, I'd lost I think it was like 20. Last time I checked, because when we threw the calendar out in the year at the beginning of the year, it had all the measurements on it, so I don't have track of that, but it was 20 some odd inches that I had lost. So
that's really, really incredible, Kim. You've done fabulous in the journey, in the Way Down lifestyle. So what I took from what you said is that you grew up in a home where you didn't really eat really healthy.
Correct.
And so you were kind of triggered to go to sweets. Like you said that as soon as it didn't matter whether you were frustrated or happy, you went for chocolate or you went for a sugary treat or something like that, because you said that when you weighed in and you had gained a little bit, the scale totally defeated you. It totally brought you down, and your whole countenance or your mood changed with the scale. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. So we often talk so much about how we have the non-scale victories, and they're more important than the scale victories, because we all want to fit into the clothes that are sitting in our closet. We all want to be able to move and to do the things that we want to be able to do, like travel or walk through the town, or, do an adventure, get up and down off the floor with our grandkids, because I know you're a grandma as well. We want to be able to do those things. And those things are truly what matter. They make us happier than the number on a scale. We want to fit into those clothes. We want to get off the medications. We want to have a lower blood pressure. We don't want to be pre-diabetic. All those things that are related to non-scale victories, having more energy, sleeping better, all those things. So it's amazing that you did this journey without being on the scale. And we're excited that you did that, because you continually lost the inches. You continually fit back into more clothes in your closet. And so going forward, we know you're going to continue that way, but what were the biggest non-scale victories that you can talk about?
Just like I got in the dress that the kids, when they got married, they chose for me, and I shared that picture, and I felt like the beach whale walking down the aisle with the bulges and that. And when my goal was to get into that dress, well, I went and tried that on, and I also shared that picture, and it was very big on me. but I did get into it. So that was the biggest
Found
goal there. I don't have the dress anymore. I gave it to somebody, like I gave it to the thrift shop so that it could be used for somebody else, because there's no way I would wear it again. So, but yeah, that was my goal. That was the biggest goal that I had for myself. And just healthier eating was my other goal. And I'm still doing it. Like I still do every 10 days. I have a shake unless I'm on vacation, because it's kind of hard to stick to something like that when you're away from home, because you just don't eat the same. You're eating what everybody else is eating. And although I was introduced to a few other new dishes, which I have given to you to try, or to see if you can implement them into the system, because they were beans, rice, or zucchini, or whatever, so it was just a more healthier choice. And I just tweaked it. Like if it asked for crackers, I would use the gluten-free crackers, which is you can get at Costco and stuff like that. And actually that stuffed zucchini I gave you, I used the Mother Parkers, no, not Mother Parkers, the Mother's whatever, Nature or something. And they got more seeds and everything in it. So it made it more crunchier than use soda crackers. And so just trying to eat more healthy. And in fact, like I told you, that my sweet tooth is the hardest part getting over, and I still do crave it. That the only, out of the 10 days, I think the shake day is the only day that I don't eat chocolate.
But your chocolate is a healthier chocolate, right?
Most of the time, like I try to eat the dark chocolate. I'm not a real fan of it, but I try to eat the Lindt chocolate, which is a better chocolate than the grocery store waxy type chocolate, which I don't like, but I eat them because if that's all I have, I'll eat it. But I'm trying to cut back. It's just been a little tougher, and going through all the deaths that have been happening within the family over the last 2 years, and personal friends, and just the struggles with family. And that has really been another trigger that I've been going through. So I'm trying to still choose like the healthy recipes, and I even like, yogurt and fruit, stuff like that. I just try to eat more of that. And
right. And we talk a lot about eating our emotions. And, we all know that we have stresses in our life. You have stress, I have stress. We all have stuff that comes at us at different times or different phases, or like you have, illness in the family right now going on. And those are real big stressors. How has the Way Down lifestyle helped you become aware of eating your emotions?
Just being mindful. Although my mind doesn't always be mindful, it seems to go back to the way I was, and that means that I'm not even thinking. Like so I've got to be more aware. Like it's just got to be. I don't know. Like I keep on like exercising. I keep my bike going, and I'll run on the spot. I've started back in with the aerobics of the swimming. So I'm just trying to keep myself motivated to keep on going.
Right, because we always say it's progress over perfection. And we know that, when we try to be perfect, we fall down because no one is perfect. And so it's about progress. And when you look at your Way Down lifestyle, and if you look back to when you first started, you have had huge progress. Even if you've fallen down, like you say, you're still addicted to sugar sometimes. And when we fall down and we can look up, we can still get up. And we say that a lot. But
I'm dragging on the side. You just put my arm on, I'm still going.
So you're still going back up again, and you're still doing it. And you've had so much progress. You reached your target goal, and you've been maintaining for a long time now. So I am just super excited for you, super proud of you that you have stuck with it, that you keep getting back on the wagon. Even if you fall down, you're getting back up again. It's just like a child. Children fall down when they're learning to walk. They fall down continually. In fact, I was with my granddaughter yesterday and she fell down and cried, but what happened? She got up again and she ran again. And that's what we have to learn from. We can fall down, get up, and keep moving forward. And when we move forward, 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still ahead. And you have done that throughout this journey. You have continually been progressing. Even if you've fallen down, you've gotten up and moved forward. Maybe you fall down again, you've gotten up and moved forward. And so I'm just super proud of you for sticking with it and for doing it. And, you know, we say a lot, you're a woman chosen for greatness. You have a lot of gifts and talents. You have what it takes to live this lifestyle, and you're doing it. You're living proof. So we want to thank you for, you know, for joining us in this Way Down lifestyle. But I have one more question, because we invite God into the journey, and it's crucial that God is in the midst of the journey. It's a big, big part of the journey, because without it, I don't think we would succeed. You know, Casey and I talk about a cord of 3, and that is you, the support from the community, and God. That 3 strands of cord cannot be broken. You can do it. You can keep going. So in your Way Down lifestyle, what does it mean to you to invite God into the journey?
Well, I pray every morning that He will help me to stay focused on what I'm doing. And then I pray at night and asking for forgiveness that I haven't been listening. So I mean, I make myself aware of it. But the weird thing is, our ladies at our church are actually starting a Bible study called "I Am Enough."
Nice.
By Jonathan Puddle, I think his name is, and he's a Guelph resident, and he's supposed to be coming on one of their Zooms. I gotta get the book, but anyways, so I always have to remember that I am enough, and stop trying to please others.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming from your childhood, which you have told me personally about. You know, the perfectionist attitude is really strong in your mind, and it's always about uncrossing those wires so that we don't go back to the habits that are not helping us, rather focusing on the habits that are beneficial for us. And I know you're working at that. You work at that continually.
Yeah.
And when you invite God into the journey and you're praying every morning and you're aware at night, you're doing exactly what you need to do, because you know when you've fallen, you know what you have to do to get back up on the wagon. And, you know, it's working for you because you've reached your target goal and you have maintained your target goal for, I don't know, I want to say a good 6 months already.
I think it's over a year.
Oh, wow.
A year. I think it's a year, July.
Okay, so you've maintained for over a year already.
Yeah.
So, you know, kudos to you, Kim. You've just done so well on the Way Down lifestyle. And I just want to, you know, commend you, because, you know, you need to give yourself a pat on the back. Yes. So thank you for doing this interview. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for being a part of uplifting and motivating all the other women, because I know that when they hear your story and you've done it, not being perfect, because we're not perfect, but just continually moving forward, I know that's going to inspire others to move forward in their Way Down lifestyle. So thank you so much for sharing. And I hope that we can do this again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay.